if you're a Republican running for re-election this year, you should be afraid, like really afraid. I'm Noah Lyons from the What's Really Going On pod, and I had some time today, so let's go through some political history. So coming up in the November election, where you can vote for things like governor, your city council, your mayor, you can also vote for your House of Representative member and your member of the United States Senate in some states. So now, unless you don't know, Republicans obviously have the White House in Donald Trump, but they also have control of the House of Representatives and the United States Senate, which means they have a thing called trifecta government. So let's go through some political history and explain to you how actually having trifecta government in a midterm election, especially with the president with really low approval ratings, is terrible for Republicans. So in 1994, that was Bill Clinton's first midterm election as president. His approval rating was probably around in the mid-40s, but Democrats got shellacked in the midterms. So not only did Democrats lose 9 seats in the Senate, they lost 54 in the House, losing actually both chambers of Congress to Republicans. And the fun fact is that it was actually the first time in nearly 40 years that Republicans had control of the House of Representatives. Now, the next time that happened was in 2006 with George W. Bush. Now, by this time, the Iraq and Afghanistan wars had led to a really low approval rating for the President Bush, where he was around in the upper 30s. He lost both the House and the Senate, losing as many as 30 seats in the House of Representatives. Now we're going to move up to the next decade in the 2010s, where Obama had a pretty crappy midterms where he lost over 60 seats in the House. Now, while he didn't lose the Senate, he did lose the House as the Tea Party began to formulate and began to basically rain hell down on his administration. So the next time this actually happened with trifecta government was in 2018, where while President Trump and Republicans did hold the Senate, they actually gained a couple seats, which was largely determined by a favorable map. They actually lost over 40 in the House of Representatives and actually brought in a pretty new wave of young and diverse elected officials, including AOC. So now the last time this actually happened in the midterms was actually in 2022, which was Biden's first and only midterm election as president. So Republicans flipped the House, gaining around 9 seats. Republicans actually did gain seats in the Senate, but they actually weren't able to take it over from Democrats at the time, and his approval rating was in the low 40s. So now this actually gets us to the 2026 midterms, where President Trump has the worst approval rating of any of these presidents, sitting exactly in the low 30s. So now, with that said, Republicans are certainly going to get a little bit of a help, maybe even a lot, with things like redistricting and the Voting Rights Act, which will significantly impact Democrats and, most importantly, black people. But it is worth being said that history is not on his side. But what do you think will happen with the midterms in 2026? We will certainly be watching and keeping you all posted.